Hi, everyone. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, we're going to get started. Anybody have any stress in their lives? Raise your hand. Hand motions are really good with Zoom. And, I've been doing this a long time. And whenever I talk, um, like they always want me to talk about what I know. But none of it makes any sense unless you experience it. Okay, so there's a couple of directions that I really want to make sure that we're incorporating, because whatever stress you're dealing with, like the sort of the byproduct of stress could be a lot of muscle tension, it could be anxiety, it could be sleeplessness, it could be stomach aches, it could be all of the above. And that's when something, for whatever reason, the causes could be different for each person, but there's something that needs to be resolved, right? And sometimes those labels that they put on the stress make it so that we don't even attempt to try to feel better, as we feel like, oh, that's not going to work, or that's not going to change.
What was that?
The body has a really, really huge potential to make dramatic changes, but there's a couple of things you have to do, and that is know your own body. So there's three parts of what we're going to do, and those are the same things that you're going to do when you're on your own. You could do it in a matter of 5 minutes, but the first thing you want to notice is that sense of feeling your own body. Okay? You're not going to feel everything the first time because you're just learning. I feel like I'm always discovering, because just like fingerprints, two people have the same fingerprints. You can't really learn your body from what somebody else tells you. You have to feel your own body. So I'm actually asking you to feel what you don't feel, which is kind of crazy. But that's how you start to wake up your nervous system. The good news is anything you get, that little mustard seed, right? That can just create this huge plant, right? That little mustard seed is what's going to start the ball rolling. And so I've been like really in this teacher mode lately, where I'm like, I don't feel like a teacher. I feel like I'm just sharing what I do. But like now I want people to start repeating
I
things,
still got about
you
4
know?
minutes.
Like, okay, make sure if you're going to talk that you turn off your whatever. Yeah, please mute yourself. Somebody else just jumped in and said, please mute yourself if you have friends that you want to talk to while the video is on. So the first thing you want to notice is your own body, right? And that is part of the method. That is the biggest part. See, I could already see the eyes glaze over, right? Right. I could already see, like, yeah, I got that one, check, right? No, because every day, I just said it, every day it's different. And we don't think of our bodies that way. We think of our bodies like little machines that somebody tells us, move this, move that, so that, every day it's the same. And I don't know what it is I'm doing wrong, because what I did yesterday should work today, but it doesn't. And that's just a really big stress to put on you if you already have stress. Okay? So it's a lot easier to just feel what you feel in this moment today. Is that going to get easier? If you follow the directions? There's only a couple of other pieces of it. One, we talk about the weight and the breath. Anybody ever hear me say weight and breath? Anybody read the book, the body form? No, Laura's like, no, I've never heard that before. And I realized, and that's why I'm doing this, is a lot of people just go, yeah, but. I mean, the story of my life, yeah, but. And it's like, no, you don't feel the weight and the breath, because if you really feel the weight of your body and you are not holding your breath, your stress levels would be way down and you would be very, very happy with the way your body felt. So we're all kind of holding our body and holding our breath in a way where we're feeling. That's why I'm asking you to feel what you don't necessarily feel yet. And then the third piece of this, right? The third piece of is at the end of any amount of time you work, 5 minutes, 15, 50, is to check in again and notice if you changed in any way. Not whether or not you liked the change, not whether or not the change was, oh my God, just what they told me I would feel or whatever. Nothing like that. It's because what you're doing is you're training your nervous system, and your nervous system is looking for information from you. And the only way it can get that is by you acknowledging changes. That's new information for it. And the good thing about it is it's not as fussy as we are. A little bit of change. And the body just, oh my, it's like takes that to town, because that means you freed it up from the straitjacket and you're allowing it to again change. All right. So anybody want to repeat those 3 points for me? It's going to be on the test. What are the 3 things that you're doing when you're doing 5 minutes on your own? 3 things.
Breathing.
Okay, so that was the weight and the breath piece of it. That's one of them. What's the other one?
Observing.
Right, the check-in, exactly. Observing what you notice about your body. And what was the third one?
Feel what you feel today.
Well, that was part of the check-in. So that's your initial check-in. And then you're using that sense of weight and breath as you go through your 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever you're doing. But what's the third piece?
Check in again to see if things have changed.
Okay. It's going to be on the test. I don't know if any of you are going to pass, but we will find out. These are your directions. All right. So very briefly, does anybody have anything that experiencing that they want to work on today specific? So you just raise your hand and just let me know. And this way I have you on gallery so I could address anything specifically. And sometimes it's hard to form the question because we think of our bodies as clumps. And I'm serious about that, just one clump. And that's why it doesn't change, because you have to get a little specific, and sometimes forming the question is super hard. That's why I want you to go through the process more regularly in your life. You're not trying to solve the problems of the world. You're just noticing something specific about your body. And sometimes forming these questions is also talking more specific. So Arlene, you raised your hand briefly.
Sciatic pain. That's my question. Is good stuff for it. I've watched your sciatic video and I've been working, but anything new to offer, I'm all for it.
Right. So when you have sciatic pain, you've taken clenching. I had sciatic pain. You're taking clenching to the next level. Okay. So in other words, if I have a pen in my hand, in order for me to articulate the feeling and manipulate that pen in all different ways, right? I can't be clenching like a fist. I can't really do anything. I guess I could go like that, right? So when you start clenching your muscles around one of your glutes, you could do both glutes too. You start going to a point where you start putting pressure on your nerve. So that's why the weight is so important. So I wonder if if you could incorporate that a little bit in what you're doing, because what would weight do? Why do and we're going to do some stuff, but why do I say that word? What is it about weight? Like you're all sitting there. What is it about the weight that kind of connects you to your body? Like if you're clenching your glutes with sciatic pain, that glute is not resting. You're clenching it on overdrive, and that's what's causing the pain. Just remember that when you do the work. And we'll get to that. Anybody else? Anything you want to work on specifically? Barbara? You're on mute though, Barbara. You're on mute.
You know, I've been doing everything generally, and I love your program. And lately, I get these rounds of just all of a sudden tingling and numbness that starts in my right hand, in the fingers and the palm, and sometimes it moves up just a little bit. It really happens mostly in my hands and fingers, and it can get really numb, and it can last for 10 or 15 minutes. And it's really scary, and I can't tell what it's connected to. So I'm wondering what I could be doing for that.
Okay. Have you tried elbow on the ball?
I haven't done elbow I'm focusing more, I guess, on the neck and the shoulders, but
Well,
I'll look at the
elbow
elbow.
on the ball is really incredible for your whole body because it takes the pressure off the shoulder, which is probably cutting off the circulation into your hand.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah.
I'll be happy and to use just the natural weight to relax all of that. And it's just on the right side, but anyway.
Okay, anybody else? Anybody have any anxiety or any? Kelly?
Yes, can we work on posture?
Oh, posture.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so where's the challenge with posture?
Neck and back, upper body, hunching over.
Do you sit at the computer a lot?
No, I don't.
Good. That's good. Okay. All right. Interesting. All right. Anybody else? Barbara? Barbara, you're on mute, sweetie. You're on mute? Yeah, so you're gonna have to.
Did you ask me if there's anything else?
Oh no, Barbara, another Barbara. She's
Oh, I'll go back to mute. Sorry.
Okay, thought it was me that was on mute.
That's okay. What's up?
My everlasting pain on the left side of my rib cage. Always trying to loosen that up and maintaining it.
Okay, well, I mean, the thing about posture is your body knows where posture is, Kelly. So again, that's part of the way when you do the work to notice your breathing and the feeling of where your weight naturally goes in order to be upright. So the only way you can be up is feeling where the weight is down. And so for all of us with posture, because it's such a beautiful feeling because it will create through that feeling of weight a sense of your breathing and how to be upright without straining your upper back, neck, and shoulders. The only way you can be upright, and all of you sitting can experience that now, is to feel the weight down of the lower half of your body, which will also solve that sense of the middle of your back, Barbara. Again, some of you, I don't know what directions you're giving to yourselves when I'm not around. Okay, and that's what has to be clear. So let's do this. Let's just start simply lying down, and we're going to just, if you can, if you're able to be in the video, I could watch how you're doing it and give some suggestions to some of you. If you're not, just follow along. All right. I mean, the feeling of, posture, it should be a stress reliever. I mean, posture is a beautiful thing because posture is about balance. It's not about straining yourself to try to force yourself to go into a position that's, just holding one part of your body separate from the rest. So as you lie down, you have the ultimate, I was just talking to somebody earlier who, had a couple of people this week, one is a professional tennis player. That was interesting. Very severe sciatic pain. And the other one, a professional dancer. So these people know their bodies. But again, what we're doing different is they know their bodies to play tennis and they know their bodies to do dance. And a lot of us know our bodies as far as, the way our posture is, where we have pins and needles, our sciatic pain. But let's get a sense of noticing how the weight and the breath might allow your body to change. So that's what I want to do now. So when you're lying down, first of all, when you start feeling your body, all of us, we have to practice getting a sense of the whole body at one time. So you're looking out your window and there's this, maybe you're in a city, or maybe you have nature around you and you're taking in the whole scenery, right? One or two things might stand out to you, but visually, the way you see, you're seeing everything at one time, and certain things draw you in, and you begin to start noticing them because of what's around them. So that's what you're doing with your body. Remember that, because it's going to be a beautiful experience to feel when you sit, that you could allow yourself to maybe sit as a whole, as opposed to falling back into just focusing on the sciatic area of pain or just trying to fix your posture. That's when we start to really change. When we start realizing that all parts of the body will benefit the parts that seem to be the challenge. So as you're resting there, no two of you, right? No two people have the same fingerprint. No two people are resting on the floor the same way. So some of you are noticing certain parts of your body are probably touching the floor. And just for our purposes today, let's just, focus in on the whole, but a few parts. So let's take the ball and place it in the back of your head and neck. So you're lifting up the back of your head and neck. You're taking one ball and place it under the back of your head and neck. So you have to have it in a place that feels user-friendly or you won't feel the weight. Now, my feeling is that some of you do this, right? Now you can, if you don't have a ball, you can lie on the floor and sense the weight of your head and go through this, just feeling the weight of your head. But my feeling is some of you get into just kind of focusing on your head right now. But it's the weight of your head and the feeling of your breathing, right? And your head is just such an amazing connection because it's like the light in the lighthouse, right? It's really so connected to the rest of your spine. And we're going to add something for your breathing. Another really, really area of stress for a lot of people is the jaw. And on an exhalation, you're going to open your mouth and you're going to feel the weight of the jaw, the TMJ, right? That temporal mandibular joint, jaw joint, and let the mouth open. And you can breathe in again if you want with the mouth open, but I want you to get a sense of the weight of the jaw. And I do want you to close the mouth as slowly as you opened it. And just notice if there's any change in the feeling of your breathing. So right there in this couple of minutes, you did all three parts. You noticed kind of the whole, right? Your body. Some things might have stood out to you. Oh, that shoulder is higher than the other one, or my back isn't on the floor. Something specific. That's what you want to get better at about your body. And then we kind of notice the feeling now of lifting the head onto the ball or the weight of the head resting. Does that change the rest of the body in any way? In any way. And we're adding the weight of opening the mouth and your breathing, right? And you can even make a little sound. You can exhale a little bit on a ha sound, move the air out, and you can rest your hands somewhere on your torso. I like to put one hand on my upper torso, one on my lower ribs, elbows resting comfortably on the floor. Don't feel a strain. Just open your mouth, soften the jaw, move the breath out on a bit of a ha sound. Notice if there's any movement under your hands. And then you're going to give your body a chance to respond. So once you close your mouth, notice if there's any change in the feeling of your breathing. And then part 3 is part of the whole ongoing process. Does anything change? All right, so I'm going to let you do that for a little bit as if you were doing this on your own. It's the weight of your head and neck.
And he starts getting a little noises. I'm zipping up,
Open your mouth, soften your jaw, let the breath out. You can move it on a ha sound. Notice any feeling underneath your hands. All right. So you get that sensation of, is there any movement in your thoracic area, your ribs? So you see your breathing is really stretching some of the tightest muscles of your body, responsible for many, many of the things you're talking about. The pins and needles, the difficulty with being upright, the feeling of stress, right? Is that movement in the thoracic area. Now, when you're ready, you're going to just reach back, support the back of your head with one hand, quickly remove the ball with the other hand.
We're
And
watching
you're
it.
just going to feel weight of how your body rests on the floor. Has it changed? So you're still looking at the whole scenery, right? Still feeling the whole body. That's what you're developing, because neurologically, and notice if your breathing changed or the way the weight of your body touches the floor has changed. Anybody? You could just raise your hand if you want, just to let me know. So something you acknowledge, right, has changed. And be specific. That clump mentality, oh, I like this, I don't like this. The nervous system can't use that. There's nothing there. It's too general. You're going to take the ball and place it in the back of your head and neck again. Lift your head, place the ball in the back of your head and neck, arms and shoulders rest. So you're training your brain to find a particular part, sense the weight on the ball. Notice if that changed anything in any other part of your body.
Lifts my shoulders up a little off the ground. They're tighter to the ground than my head is on the ground.
Interesting. So your shoulders lifted up with your head.
A little. Mostly just pressure is less when my head is up.
And then try ever so slowly, just a small distance, to turn your head to either the right or left side, just a small distance. And again, noticing how you do that. The feeling of any connection to any other parts of the scenery. So again, your sensory, the way you see, you don't just look at the pen on the table. You don't. You're taking in everything. You may need the pen, your eyes might focus on one part. Your body, the neurological system of feeling kinesthetically, the body is the feel of the whole. Most people don't work that way. They get very focused on the part that's moving. But you don't need to do that. It's easier what I'm asking you to do. Now, let's say if you have sciatic pain. I did, and my right glute was constantly clenching. It was great when I noticed that finally. And I would have to say to myself, oh, okay, I can let that rest. Things that are off the floor for a reason. You might be holding them there. You can try letting your head and neck go to the other direction. Does it get heavier? Do you feel it in any other part of your body? And you can let your arms rest out to the side, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Soften your jaw from time to time. Let the breath out, feel that weight. And so within this one moment, right, we're doing everything that you would be asking yourself after 15 minutes. You're checking in from, time to time, noticing any changes, asking yourself again, are you feeling the weight? Are you holding your breath? So that you begin to start realizing those same things are very, very simple with bodies. Stress is almost guaranteed because of how much we hold our breath. I'm not asking you to breathe deeply. It's impossible to breathe freely, to be upright freely, to take the pressure off the hips and the shoulders when we hold our breath. And people can deep breathe and then moments later go back to holding their breath because they don't allow their musculature to experience just that natural sense of not holding and preventing the air from coming into the body. Now, where it comes into the body, that's where you start to notice more as time goes on. So I'm not sure that you're feeling that. So let's take the ball away. Bend your knees and rest your feet on the floor. And just get a sense of that feeling of how that might change something. And just roll your head from shoulder to shoulder. And then just reach if you have a ball, you can also do this with a ball in each hand. Just reach your hands up, holding onto the ball or not, towards the ceiling. And when you do that, there's always an oppositional stretch in everything, right? That's part of a shift of weight, right? If I lean to the right, part of my body's going to go to the left, otherwise I'm going to fall over, right? So when you reach your arms up, if the balls are in your hands, just go ahead and flex at your wrist just a little bit so you can kind of palm the hand, the ball in your hand, and you can even just kind of roll the ball a little bit towards your fingertips and back into the palm of your hand a few times. Easy, 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 because I don't see any response in other parts of your body. Right? So again, if you're just isolating your arms and stiffening your shoulders, that's not going to be that helpful for you long term. So now just hold on to the ball, or don't hold on to the balls. Just crisscross your right hand over to the left shoulder, the left hand over to the right shoulder, and just kind of feel that like you're hugging yourself. You can keep the balls in your hands if you want or not. And I just want you to take your t-shirt off, simulate that movement using your elbows and your hands. Reach your hands up over your head along the floor and bring your arms down and around. Okay, so I know that was a big movement, but that is the sort of an amazing stretch for your rib cage, for your breathing. All right, and you can just keep the hands, the balls resting in your hands. All right. And just try that again. Just reach your hands up towards the ceiling. And you can just flex your hands so that, and check out, because some of you have the balls actually over your face. I'd rather have you the balls more over your shoulder blades and almost slightly lower than over your face. It's going to give you more of an opportunity to feel, yeah. Okay, so let's just come down, roll onto your side and just watch me, okay? Just watch me because it's going to be too hard. And this is a nice one. It's easy to do. All right. So can you see me? Where am I? So you're going to have the balls in two hands. You can see me there. All right, so this is what I was doing, and just tell me if you can't see me. All right, so when you do this, you're not doing this to, this is not about your arms. Get that whole thing out of your brain. When I'm reaching my hands, it's so that I could feel my breathing and the rest of my body weight going down. It'll happen naturally. But when I see this stuff, right, the movement ends at your shoulder and you're not gonna feel happy about that. You want to feel that sense of the weight. So the weight is what's going down naturally. But if you just isolate parts and you don't feel the weight down, it's not happening. So flex your wrists. You're going to move the balls into, see my fingers. I'm just stretching out my wrists, which for me feels good because, you know, it's stretching my shoulders. Now I'm going to say crisscross your arms around. I'm going to say just put the ball under the corner of each shoulder and then just unbend your arms. Did you see what I did? Okay, so it's not hard. So first we stretched it out. Then I'm going to say crisscross. You don't have to try to go crazy and put the ball real low right now. It's really up at the uppermost corner of your arm. And it's just unbend your arms and just let them kind of rest in the most easygoing place. Okay? Let's try that. So just for your upper body, shoulder area. All right, so first, again, you check out your breathing. So you're always starting. I know it sounds like very pedantic, but believe it or not, that can get very easy to ignore. Oh, the feeling of my body, just kind of notice it, that's all. And then you're going to reach the hands up and notice what goes down. Laws of physics. So that's the weight, what goes down. If you reach your arms up and you don't feel the weight down, it's because you held your breath and you locked in some part of your body that's preventing you from feeling the weight. So that's what the weight and the breath is about. You can flex your wrists a little bit, let the ball kind of move around so you passively, there should be no pins and needles with this, feel that movement there in the hand. Then you're going to hold on to the ball, crisscross the balls around. That sense we're doing this all from the direction of your hands and your elbows. You can roll a little bit to one side, shove one ball under the shoulder on the left, then go to the other side, and then just quickly bend your elbows, rotate your shoulders, and you're on the balls. Perfect. Good. So you can rest your arms in any way that feels good. Everybody's got something different going on. If you don't like the arms at shoulder level, you can put them alongside your body. But if you can rest on the balls, that's a good spot to rest on the balls. And just see again, that sense of the weight, that takes time. And notice, and if it feels painful, ask a question, or you can adjust where the balls are. Right, that's good. And so the body weight of your arms is going to passively start to stretch other parts of your body. So just by letting your arms rest, they're stretching another part. That's the weight. And sometimes you can feel that's not as easy as I thought, because shoulders can really be on overdrive, right? And if you can, just reach your hands right to the top and just take the balls away. And now just take them one under each hip. So rock your hips from right to left. Place one under each hip, stretch your legs out. And so here you are with the scenery again. So here's where you're open-minded to that. That's why you're checking in. Maybe my body's changing in some way. Very nice. I like that, Kelly. You're letting the arms starting to come down. I mean, I don't know what you feel. I mean, I can't tell what people feel, but what I like is you're not doing anything. That's a big deal. You can't, did you ever have an argument with somebody and you realized that if you didn't give them a chance to talk, you were never going to understand what happened? So you had to just give them a chance. Sometimes you have to stop moving so your body can do something for you. Oh, what's going on here? Go back to making that S sound. Easy going. You're not trying to crack a walnut with the S sound. You're just making that sound. Notice if you let the breath in any more than you did before, and you're sensing that weight. Stretch your legs out on the two balls. Get that sense of the weight on the right and left ball. Does it feel different? So does it feel different under the right hip than the left? Can you feel the difference in weight? Anybody noticing any changes? So we keep going around in circles, right? We keep sensing the weight. We keep noticing the feeling of breathing and kind of a sense of how we are in this moment. And as we allow the body to be, right? Because allowing it to feel just what it is, you might notice, oh, I didn't realize that I'm preventing my shoulders from resting. I didn't realize I like to hold my breath all the time. You start beginning to know yourself. All right, bend your knees and rest your feet on the floor and move the balls slightly lower and slightly further apart. That's all. Good. And just rest there. Okay. And so some of you, does anybody not feel, it's a big deal, that scenery thing. This thing, I'm just gonna milk this metaphor for all it's worth because I'm still excited about it because it's the most perfect sense. You have scenery. You're looking at a bunch of trees in the woods, right? And this is what I'm looking at. When I look at you guys on the balls right now, the wind blew. There was a hurricane. Something happened. You just lifted up your center of gravity and put balls under your hips. That wind just went through that forest. But I didn't see any change in any other parts of your body for a lot of you. You just kept, that wind blew and all the trees are the same. There's no logic there. There's no logic there, right? Something has to move because you just shifted a massive weight there. All right, let's do this. Open the right knee out to the side and just slide the outside of the right foot into the space between the left foot and the left hip on the ball. You're just opening that right knee out to the side, leaving the left leg where it is. I'm just using gravity, right? And just again, it should be a comfortable stretch, sliding the outside of the right foot in the direction of the space, whatever you can allow to happen between your left foot and the left ball. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then when you're ready, just go ahead, lift up that right knee, plant that right foot. Notice the changes, right? The wind blew, all the trees are going to have to move. You're moving half your body weight now. What happened to the upper body? What are the shoulders doing? Is the breathing doing anything? So again, this is how you learn about yourself. What do you let happen? If nothing's happening, you start making your S sound. You start checking out whether or not you've got your body locked in a position. Open up the left knee, slide the outside of the left foot between the right heel and the right hip. Just feel the weight. How much of the rest of your body, Laura, is going to have to move? Any questions?
Doing it right.
Anybody feel their ribs go to the side? Anybody feel their head turn? Anybody sense their breathing change? Good. All right. So you're starting to work your body as a sense of experiencing it as a whole. So some of you talked about sciatic pain. Some of you talked about, muscles tingling. Some of you talked about feeling that sense of posture, which is a lot to do with this area of your body. So you're going to unbend that left knee now, lift up that left foot. How much of the rest of the body do you let get involved? That's fine. All right. So again, you make sure the balls are under the back of your pelvis. You're going to lift both feet up off the floor. And this is going to affect every single part of your body. Let your thighs fold in. How much up your back? Pretty good, Sharon. Pretty good. Yeah. You could get a little even crazier with letting that middle of the back down, but I actually saw signs of life in the middle of the body. You too, Barbara. And yeah. So that's what posture and balance is. It's the whole body. Are you tighter on one side than the other, Arlene, the sciatic side?
Both sides are sciatic. It feels balanced. Feels good.
Okay, and then
Lower to the ground.
all right, so again, if you're going to do all those movements, Kelly, which are great, that's fine. All those movements are great, especially for posture. Just check out what the upper body's doing. Because when you come back up to sitting, if you want to have your posture balance effortlessly, it's from the experience of how the whole body knows how to do that. You ever see a 6-month-old child sit? They're not working on their posture and they're perfect. Yeah. Well, you can just go online and, I think they have something for everything. All right. Unbend your lower legs, slide your feet up towards the ceiling. Just feel what goes down. So now you're at a 90-degree angle for most of you. So really, if you're at a 90-degree angle, there's absolutely no work to do. Don't start exercising unless your upper body is not holding on for dear life, which it is. Right. So if the legs go up, flex and stretch your feet, what do you let down? Yeah, it's a lot of holding. Some of you, if you're not at 90 degrees, chances are you're probably holding a lot of excess tension because you didn't bend at the leg joint, which is fine. You're going to gradually let your thighs fold into you. Anybody notice you're holding your breath? I only gave you 3 directions. This is going to be a heavy drinking night for me, I can tell. I only asked them to do 3 things. I realize I'm talking a foreign language. All right, bend your knees back in, rest your feet on the floor. But you see, here's the rub. If you don't get the changes that you want to get, slide your legs out. You can push the balls lower one at a time. It's because we go, yeah, but I did that for 100 years when I was in therapy. I never even knew I did it. The shrink would say something and I would go, yeah, but like, in other words, yeah, I got that, but because I had so much anxiety. No, I got that, but, right? And eventually he opened the door and said, don't come back until you're really willing to like feel, right? Which is the same process. It's just feeling what's actually there rather than trying to do your own thing, right? Feel the physical body. Why? Not because I'm telling you, but because it's going to lead you into different places. You've slid the balls lower down the back of your body, wherever you want them to go. They could go a million places now. Go ahead, make your S sound now. What do you discover? So you're feeling the weight, right? Because I know how the mind, see the mind, the whole thing with anxiety and stress is that we try to go at it in a clump, right? They've discovered this, the whole clump of, I just want it to get better. But the problem with anxiety is we tend to, clump all our thoughts, our feelings, our physical body, our breathing into one lump. But right now, what can reduce your anxiety is to at least get specific with that feeling of what you're actually physically letting rest on the balls or the floor. Move the balls down one more time, more down to the back of the thighs. So now the pelvis is off. The thighs are on the ball. This is one of the best spots because it really gives you a sense of your lower body. And sometimes we have a lot of, stress going on, and we have to remind ourselves, like the thinking. I get that. I know. But then you have to notice that the physical feeling is a very different feeling. So go back to it. If you go, I really don't feel anything. Well, probably because you're holding your breath. That's okay. So go ahead, make your S sound. Because breathing will give you feeling. And as you allow yourself to feel the weight, all these parts will start connecting. Could the thighs get a little bit heavier? Do the arms and shoulders have anything to do with the movement? Anybody have any questions? Do you feel any specific changes?
I have a comment,
Comments are good.
okay? And that is with the balls down on my thighs, both my shoulders and my pelvis seem to be really grateful. Because
Yeah, and whenever you get those grateful spots, just milk it for all it's worth, because you've now turned a corner where your body is giving you a lot of feedback. So these responses, why I'm sort of, pounding away at this with you, and I don't mean to be aggressive about it, but that's a beautiful thing. That means that you have now allowed your body to start giving you information. It is not doing something arbitrary. It is probably breathing. Milk that. Feel it. Enjoy that. But Barbara, we're going to go back to the first thing you said. Well, there's this little thing in the middle of my back. That's when it starts to all circle around back to, is it affecting some of those areas? That's where you start saying, oh yeah, there's that area that I never really feel. I could just kind of get into that a little bit. It is a part of this great feeling. And you start realizing that your body's giving you an ability to discover something. It's always hard to try to discover something when you're holding so tightly you can't see what's in front of you. Anybody else? Push the balls lower. So you see, it's getting a little bit less of a lot of stuff going on, but I could see some of you are starting to allow your body to actually feel the weight on the balls. That is giving you different responses. I see some of the shoulder areas starting to change, some of the breathing, because that's a feeling you like. But I want you to identify what you're doing so that sometimes people would come to me after a class and I say, well, did you practice? And they would go, no, I just was so stressed out, I couldn't practice. And I thought to myself, well, that's why you want to do it. You're stressed out. So sometimes people will lie on the floor and they'll feel really, really bad and they'll go, I can't do this. But you see, your body knows how to transition. That's why I'm acknowledging when something feels good, you got it there. You're feeling the weight. You could even do that more. Now, what I like to do when the balls come under the thighs, and again, this is beyond slow right now, and one of the coolest things, if you can kind of follow the directions, let's just start with the right thigh on the ball. That weight on the ball, which it looks like a lot of you have, could there be more? Absolutely. You could spend a whole evening doing this and it would all of a sudden you'd be like, oh my God, that's a completely different leg, which is great for sciatic pain, knee problems, hip problems, balance, everything. Hang out with what you like. It still has the same directions. Give your body a chance. We're going to start with that right weight of the thigh on the ball. Now, what does weight do in life? What weight does is it's leverage, right? Remember being a kid? I remember being a kid and like, I loved to run. So I would jump over stone walls and, push down really hard to get up and all that stuff. You have a lot of weight on that ball. You're going to just start to roll your thigh a couple of inches using that leverage. And then just let it go back. So it's the smallest, that's it, from the weight on the ball, not from your knee, not from your foot. Will your knee move? Probably. But if you do it from the weight on the ball, you're going to stretch some of the deepest muscles. Beautiful. And that's hard to do it. Yeah. Nope. So you're not sliding laterally right to left, Lisa. It's not a lateral movement right to left. Think of a screwdriver, guys, from your heel up to your hip. Just think of a screwdriver. Up near your hip is the handle of the screwdriver. Your heel is what goes into the screw, let's say. You're rotating the thigh on the ball. Some of you are trying to do it with the stiff leg, but it's the weight on the ball. If you can practice that, that's pretty good, Arlene. If you could practice that and let it open, anybody feel that up into their hips or beyond? That is really, yeah, right. You just have to slow it down a little bit, Lisa, which this is not easy to do. Meaning it's not hard to do. I mean, it's not like doing, a gymnastic routine, but it's so counter to what you're used to that that's why I'm good at doing it, because it took me a long time to understand the directions. So it's not that you can't do it, it's the directions. Yeah, slow it down and check out whether or not you're holding your breath, because it's great for your shoulders. And try the other leg. Yeah. So again, the rotation of your legs is just what we did with the arms and shoulders. And how far up into your body do you feel that? How do other parts of your body respond? Yeah, it's got to be the weight on the balls, Arlene. Not easy to do. I'm just being a pain in the butt, that's all. But because you're moving your infrastructure, you're moving your skeleton when you do something like this. And that's what's so cool, because you really get up into that deep neurological connection to your center of gravity. But if you just try to stiffen the legs, turn with your feet or whatever, your chances are you're just using the muscles you always use, which is fine. But you don't need to work that hard. You can just lay there and kind of feel it. All right, so you're going to bend your knees, rest your feet on the floor, and just reach down and grab the balls again if you can. And this is going to be probably, very difficult for some of you, because I don't know, if your balls are soft or hard, but you're going to take a ball in each hand. And pretty much around the middle of your back, so you're going to take the ball in your right hand, roll your ribs a little bit over to the right, and shove the ball your ribs over to the left. Shove the ball under the middle half of your rib cage, get on that ball, use the ball in your left hand, and get up on the ball under the left half of your rib cage. Rib cage, not lower back. Yeah, rib cage. Thank you. Yeah. You're going to be very happy. Now, if it's painful, first of all, you can let your shoulders rotate back. If you don't, yeah. If you get on the balls and you go, I don't like this spot, what you can do is slither on them, higher or lower. Try not to lift your head because your head is really heavy. I would keep my knees bent if I were you guys. I would get the balls higher rather than lower. Lower is harder because those muscles lower towards your back, towards your are the stronger muscles, right? And so yeah, if you do this and hold your breath, you're not going to be happy. If you do this and not feel the weight, you're not going to be happy. And just stretch your legs out, stay there as long as you comfortably can. But do you notice how it rotates your shoulders back naturally? Yeah. Yeah, just take the balls away if it gets too much. You cannot do this and hold your breath, and you cannot do this and suffer. You'll just take the balls away. That's all. All right, so let's take the balls away now, just one at a time. Rest on the floor. And just make your S sound now and just kind of notice the feeling of your whole body now. Good. So something about that probably feels something. So make your S sound. Yeah, pretty good there. Right. So no two of you changed in the same way. It looks like a lot of changes, right? As far as just it's different than it was. And roll over onto your side, rest on your side for a moment. I want you to move around like you are feeling this body, that you're not trying to get to the other body. So maybe you don't know this body yet, so you're feeling that weight, right? Check out the weight, because remember, that's what you are. Your weight in space that breathes. Roll forward onto your hands and knees, and let's go back to your sitting. So if you sat on a bench, go back to the bench. If you sat cross-legged, go cross-legged. But be very open-minded to how your body is going to sit now. Don't move around a lot. Don't try to work yourself into the same place you started in. Just come up. Yeah, exactly. Just you're there. No, you're assuming a pose too much, Lisa. Feel your body. Yeah. Yeah. No, you didn't. I didn't mean say go limp. I just said you got to get some of those edges that are, yeah, and it's your body's, yeah. Move your feet a little bit away from your hips right now because it's preventing you from using your center of gravity because your feet, yeah, you're there. You're perfect right now. You're just still working a little hard. All right. Yeah. All right. So again, now we're comparing with when you first sat down a bit. Yeah. All right. So get a sense of what your breathing feels like, you're sitting. Anybody feel like they notice anything different about the way they're sitting or they're breathing? Again, this is the most important piece of those three parts, right? How you started, if you've changed, what you notice about your body. Perfect, perfection, highly overrated, very uninteresting, and your nervous system could give a crap. What's going to change you is what you notice. If it doesn't feel good, you want to notice what it is you're doing that doesn't feel good. Just kind of notice it. Oh, wow, I'm really straining there. Or that's information. So has your breathing changed? Has your sitting changed? Wow, Alyssa, those shoulders look 17 inches from your ears. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I feel more balanced.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you can't be balanced when you're holding your shoulders up to your ears because you're not letting anything go down.
Thank you.
Yeah, balance is effortless. That's why sitting is such a great way of learning about yourself. What is it that makes it so hard for me to just find balance and sit and breathe? Because it's not intellectual. It's really a sense of how your body functions. But sometimes you have to clean the house, right, before you can find your keys. So, all right, any questions before we stop? Looks
My
good,
neck feels
Sharon.
better too. My neck was hurting and it feels better. I'm sorry. I guess because my shoulders are down, like you said, my neck was really stiff and I was having a hard time relaxing it. So I think that with the thighs, that really helps a lot for my upper body. I didn't understand that, but I think I'm
Yeah, yeah, that's why I like doing these things because again, sometimes we have this, weird thing that they tell us that, oh, the shoulders hurt, so make sure you just constantly focus on the shoulders. But some of you just love that. Most people do, the balls behind the thighs. If that resonates with you and you get that feeling, it's just that some of you think of sitting as like separate from that feeling. Sitting is the same thing. If you're not happy sitting, which I wasn't, that's just such rich information. You can hang over a lot or whatever, but your body's telling you a lot. And it's so worth listening. What is it telling you? Oh, wow, maybe I'm just holding my body so erect in some weird place, totally unconnected to, the whole body. You're just holding one part and you can't. You have to feel the down. And that's sometimes just doing the work, which does take time.
thank you.
Does
I
take
think I'm
time.
starting to get it finally.
I know, I know. Isn't it great?
Yeah.
It's great. It's worthwhile when you stay in it,
Mhm.
Nothing else worked for me. So I had to just deal with what I was dealing with and realize that my body was just a lot smarter than I realized. And that doesn't mean you can't hold, I mean, I do, ballet. I love to do ballet. There's a lot of things, some people play tennis, some people, love to do, a lot of crazy things with their bodies. That's not what we're doing. We're tuning up the instrument. Okay, so, balance, some people try to artificially get into postures and positions. Your body will tell you when it's working and when it's not. You can't hold your breath and you have to feel the weight.
Thank you.
Well, it was lovely being with you. We're going to do this again on January 1st, New Year's Day, so you could start out 2025 with the right direction. You could send me any questions or comments or things that you might like to learn. This is a process, just like everything. Your body will take you in a direction. And yeah, it's just really cool.
Question. I have a question.
Who is that? Where?
Arlene.
Ah, Arlene. Okay, go ahead.
My question is on my breathing. When I start to focus on my breathing, I feel I'm slowing my breathing down. It just seems to be what I want to do, but I actually don't even know what my natural rate of breathing is.
Right. Those are the things that you discover. It's kind of like, we used to play these games as kids where it would be like, like notice you're blinking, right? If you notice you're blinking, it gets really weird because your blinking just happens. Breathing really just happens. If you try to notice it too much, where you're trying to micromanage it, it'll feel like, is it supposed to be doing that? Should I be doing this? Just your breathing knows how to breathe. So just, maybe if you make the S sound or if you like the open mouth breathing, some people just listen to their breathing, right? Your breathing will self-adjust. But if you, overthink it a little bit, then you won't allow your body to make adjustments because you'll be just focused on your breathing. It's the breathing and the weight of the physical body that allow you to feel, and it'll fix itself to wherever it needs to go. It's a journey. You learn all those things along the way. And you can take it into whatever art form or exercise or just, whatever you want to do. But you pretty much have to know your instrument or it just begins to just replay the same sad song over and over again. I'm not talking about you all here, just talking about my life, not a comment on anybody else. Maybe I said too much. Anybody else? All right, well, enjoy. You did a great job. It'll make sense. It does. You look better. Hi, Elaine. Hi. Hi. Are you still in Florida?
I am playing pickleball.
Okay. Okay. A lot of people do that now. I know.
I'll do that
I
now.
know. I know. I keep saying I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
Where are you in Connecticut?
I'm in Stanford.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. I bought a 300-year-old house, and I thought I was gonna be, this is a long story, ladies, gentlemen.
We
And
got
I
way
thought,
back.
yeah, this was like, it's a
When
long
we were
story.
babies, when we were babies, Elaine had classes in her studio in Connecticut, and I would come to them and I would absolutely love them. And I still have your voice in my head all these years later.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you were. I know. I always tell stories about you too, because he was a divorce attorney, a big divorce attorney in town, and she was only 26 years old. And let me tell you, she had stress. Divorce, yeah. But then you moved to Florida, and everything changed.
I'm still getting people divorced peacefully.
Yeah,
So
but peacefully. I know you went into a whole peaceful world, and I like that. I couldn't have done that. Yeah. Anyway, I will let you all go because I have someone here, but be well, take care, come back.
Happy holiday.
See, now I like the way you're sitting, Lisa. Now this is a nice way of sitting down. Okay, you're just like, you just have that, inner stuff with your body, which is great. I just don't want you to get too, like, I want you to allow yourself to feel that natural thing too, which is where you are too, and then use it. So that's great.
Thank you. I'm going to take more of your classes. I'm really feeling so good. You just inspire me so much.
Who is that?
Elisa.
Oh, no, Elisa. I mean, it was going to happen eventually, but people don't realize you have to go through these weeds. I was there. The only reason is I had that one little mustard seed, and I was just like, and I remember I never went to church. I never, like, God was not my thing. I am so not new age. I am so not anything. I just didn't want the pain. And I remember that mustard seed and me saying, "Thank you, God." And I thought to myself, where did God come into all of this? But it was like, this strange thing that took over for 1 second where I felt something. And it was a really, like, this amazing thing. It was only a second, but it builds. It
Absolutely.
builds. So, and that's a very powerful moment when you start to, and I think that's where God came in, because I think my brain realized it wasn't me, but it is that functioning, this natural kind of functioning of the body, which you can use it for whatever you want to use it for, but it just is very powerful. And I think that's what I love about the word miracle, even though I didn't name the book, is because miracle actually means beyond your understanding.
Absolutely.
And I think that's, we don't really understand, but you can sense it in yourself. You feel it. Do it more often. Please follow the directions. I'm telling you, if you email me and said, I don't know the directions, I will tell you. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hi,
Bye.
Elaine.
Happy
Hi, Elaine.
holidays.
It's Claudia.
Bye-bye. See you soon. Have a good week.
Hi, Elaine. It's Claudia.
Oh, hey, Claudia, how are you?
I'm starting to get a little bit better.
Yeah, I love seeing you.
Yeah, very, very, very slowly for my nervous system.
Your breath sounds amazing. Your voice, really good. Wow. Good
Yeah.
for you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, hopefully I'll see you in some of the classes.
I'm not quite, I don't know if I'm quite ready for that yet, but
All right. Well, when you are, you know where to find me.
yes, I will. I'll email you. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy holiday.
Same to you.
Thank you.